Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am a super duper excited. I am fangirling because I get to hang out with a Gabrielle Landi on today, guys. And we're both super duper excited because she gets to share her latest release, Falling for Her Client. Guys, let me just tell you, this book is like amazing. Gabrielle, we gotta talk about that meet cute because you had me at the meet cute, my friend. Okay. Oh my goodness, guys, you know how to do it here. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we're hanging out with Gabrielle Landi on today. Gabrielle, can you introduce yourself to the people, my friend?
Hi, guys. I'm Gabrielle. I am a romance writer from Southern Indiana. I have three kids and a husband and a full time job at my family business, and I write on the side with all of that going on. I've been writing since I was like 15 years old, and I finally published my first book in 2022. So I'm just so excited to finally be a published author and to get to share my stories with everyone after working on them for like 10 years.
Well, I love it. And let me just tell you guys, if you are new to Gabrielle London, trust me, you are going to be a fan. Okay. She writes some amazing, amazing stories. And this particular one thing that describes Gabrielle, and Gabrielle, I have you to elaborate a little bit, is that she writes romance novels, guys, but small town, large families. Gabrielle, can you share a little bit about that for us?
So I'm actually the oldest of 8 kids.
Okay.
um, and I this might sound a little strange, but we're all in alphabetical order. So there's
Oh,
no A because we
wow.
didn't plan on doing it. So I'm
Okay.
B, and then my siblings go down the alphabet. And when I first heard about the Bridgerton series and about how it's these 8 alphabetical siblings, I was like, "Oh my
Hold
gosh, it's like
on.
my family." And
Right.
so when I used to write young adult fantasy, and I was really excited for that. And then I grew up and got married, and my what I needed to write changed. And so
Okay.
as I transitioned to romance, I started thinking about what was important to me. And what really came to mind was how I felt when I read those Bridgerton books and how the family in it was everything. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like my family on the page. And so I wanted to write a sweeter, a cleaner, less spicy version of those large families that we don't get to see very often in
Uh-huh.
media. Because I have a large family and I love my large family and I love being a part of it. And so I wanted to write large families. So the Palmer family is my first family. I have more families planned.
Oh,
But if you
exciting.
know me, there's so much of my family in the Palmers. And I'm not going to spoil everything, but like I plan on doing that with every family, like taking bits of my family and putting them in. For example, the Palmer family's favorite meal is my family's favorite meal.
Oh,
So
wow.
stuff like that, just little Easter eggs. If you know me and you know my family,
I
yeah.
love it. So, guys, look, Gabrielle is spilling a little bit of tea on today, and we love tea spilling, Gabrielle. We love tea spilling. Let's see, Moni says that she loves Brett as well. Guys, let me just tell you, once you get a hold of this series, you will fall in love with the Palmer family. And again, they are so relatable. I mean, the way that the siblings interact and tease each other, what have you, the family dinners, all of that good stuff. Of course, you know the matchmaking, all of that good stuff. The best friend. It's just amazing, amazing. And so, guys, the series that we are talking about for her, can you tell us? What inspired this series that this book is a part of?
So I actually started writing book 3 first.
Oh,
And then I realized that book 3, which is coming out in late fall this year,
yes.
um, is about Natalie and Kyle. And as I was writing Natalie and Kyle's book, which is a fake dating, only one bed, um, it's lots of fun, so much fun. If you like those tropes, I love those tropes. So, um, but as I was writing that book, I realized that Kyle's brother and sister, Keith and Caitlin, had their love stories came first, and so I decided I wanted to go back and rewrite those before I have it here too. Um, so I decided I wanted to go back and write Keith and Caitlin's stories first. And so as I was discovering who they married, because these characters like come into play in book 3
Uh-huh.
because they're a family and they're always there in everything because that's how my family is. And so
Okay.
I don't know how to not be an overwhelmingly busy family. Uh, and so I was like, yeah, I have to write all of these siblings. And so I have all of the siblings. They each have their own book planned. Justin, the cousin, he has his own book. His book is book 4.
Oh,
Um, and Lisa and Thomas are getting a prequel novella for a client.
oh,
And that I'm hoping that one will come out in the summer. We'll see. I just finished the first draft. But I actually have 2 of my brothers are getting married in May.
okay.
Um, and so it's a bit of a busy month for me personally. So I'm hoping I can get Lisa and Thomas's story out this summer, and then book 3. I'm aiming for like November-ish. Um, we'll see if I can make that happen because, like I said, I've got 3 kids, so
Well,
it's
I
sometimes hard.
love it. I love it. And guys, we didn't tell you the name of it is now I say Hosta. Is it Hosta or Hosta Falls?
Hosta
Hosta
Falls.
Falls, guys, is the name of this series. This is book
My
2.
hand's in the way.
Book 1 is called Fallen for the Harris. But guys, I promise you that once you get a hold of this series, you will be hooked. And even some of the characters that Gabrielle has shared with us, y'all saw I got excited when she said the cousin is going to be book 4 or what have you. But you share with us a little bit about what inspired this series. Let's talk about book 2, guys. And book 2, oh my goodness, it is Caitlin, and Caitlin is the Palmer daughter or the sister, and then you got Cody Nolan. Oh my goodness, who's super hot. I want to first talk about that meet cute because Gabrielle, you had me at the meet cute. Okay. You had me at the meet cute and you held my attention all the way. Of course, I was rooting for them throughout the book. But tell us a little bit about this meet cute of when Cody and Caitlin meet.
So, Caitlin is filling in for her very shy sister
Yes.
at a picnic fundraiser, where they auction off a picnic basket and they all kind of eat out on the lawn in the square or by the school somewhere. I forget exactly the location. Um, and so she's filling in for her sister, and uh, her cousin is supposed to come and get the
Right.
basket. But her cousin decides to play a little matchmaker and sends his
Yeah.
best friend instead. And so Cody and Caitlin have this picnic basket fundraiser date with a bunch of people on the lawn, and it goes terribly.
Right.
I wanted it to not be super smooth sailing at first, and so they don't click right away.
No.
Cody does. Cody thinks that he sees some potential with Caitlin, but Caitlin's like, no, this is awkward. I'm going
Right.
home and telling my sister I'm never filling in for her at a picnic basket fundraiser ever
Right.
again. So yeah, and then Cody goes home and yells at the cousin and says, "Why did you
Yes.
try to set me up with your cousin?"
And guys, by the way, the Cody and her cousin they're like best friends. I mean, he practically stays at Cody house like all the time. Almost
Yup.
like his brother that he never had.
Yup.
So I love that. Guys, if you are just joining us, I'm hanging out with a Gabrielle London, guys. She's telling us about this amazing series, the Hosta Fall series, book 2, Falling for Her Client. As I've shared with you guys, she had me at the meet cute. This is just a super cute story that it's a quick read. Trust me, it will not take you long to read it, and you will be ready for the next book in this series as well. But I want you to share a little bit with us, Gabrielle, about I love their occupations. Guys, she is a photographer, okay? And then he's like a contractor, like his family has a business where they contract things or what have you. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you enjoyed about writing that side of a character?
So I'm actually a photographer. um, I it's part of what I do for my family's business, and I take lots of pictures of my kids. So many pictures of my kids.
Yeah.
And so that part came super easily. I've never actually photographed a wedding, but I've been in lots of photography groups on Facebook, and so I've seen a lot of wedding photographers talking about photographing weddings. And I had a couple photographer friends read it and give me their feedback. Um, and so that was super fun to write, a photographer like me. Um, and then Cody, I don't know, his occupation just kind of came out of nowhere. He needed a a reason to hire her. So for those of you who don't know, the whole premise is um, he decides to hire her for
Right.
photography so that he can get to know her better. But oops, she doesn't date her clients. So
Right. It
he just shot
backfires. She's
himself
like,
in the
I
foot.
don't date my clients.
So I needed something where he would hire her, and so I ran through a
Yeah.
couple of different options, and I don't know, when Cody came into my head, he was just this more rugged guy who worked with his hands, and he wasn't, a guy who sat behind a computer,
Mhm.
or a guy like, I don't know. He didn't have that kind of job, and so contractor worked, and it gives me
And
some
it
fun
worked for them.
backstory
It
bits.
totally clicked, and it was super
Yeah.
sexy. I fell in love with it, or what have you. Guys, if you are joining me, as you can see, Gabrielle, I don't think I stopped smiling yet. Okay, guys, that's how like super cute this book is, or what have you. And I know, like, guys, I'll give you a little bit of like behind the scene. I was like sending Gabrielle messages about how good this book is. I'm like, oh my goodness.
You made my day. I had a really so I've been working really hard on this book, and my launch day, I had like all sorts of technical difficulties, and then my whole family came down with a stomach bug,
Oh
and
no.
so I spent my week of my launch. First, I was puking, and then all three of my kids were puking, and so this launch, I mean, it just went terribly, and so you have no idea how much your messages
Oh
like
wow.
they made such a difference, because I was like, at least one person is loving this book. Because
Oh
it was a
my
rough launch.
goodness. Well, I am so glad. Guys, if you are just joining us, we are hanging out with Gabrielle Lundy. God, this is her second book in the Hosta Falls series. This is Falling for Her Client. And trust me, once you read the book, you will totally understand the title. And speaking of titles, Gabrielle, was this the original working title for this book while you were writing it, or did you come up with it after you finished? Share a little bit about the title, Falling for Her Client.
So, like I said, this is actually I wrote book 3 first, and so
Mhm.
sorry. Book 3 in my head has always just been fake dating. That's just like the
Okay.
name I gave it. And then I came up with book 4, which is celebrity, and then I and there's a hint in, I think, book 1, that gives you a hint about the hero for book, well, it's now book 5. Sorry, I've rearranged them all so often. Anyway, so I had fake dating and celebrity, and then I went back and I came up with book 1 because I realized Keith's story came first, and I wanted to figure out how he and Sarah had fallen in love. Um, and so I just called that one Eris. And then um, I was trying to come up with titles, and I was just like, well, why not falling for the heiress and falling for her client and falling for his fake girlfriend and falling
Right.
for the celebrity? I was like, it works. So those became the titles.
I love that. I love that. And so I'm thinking you're sharing a little bit of tea that most of the titles is going to be falling something. So we got
Yes,
book one, which is
at
falling
least
for
for
the
the Palmer
carrots.
family.
Okay, at least for the Palmer family. I
Yeah,
love that.
I
I
might change it
love
up with
that.
each family so it's like easier to tell like which family it is. We'll see.
Look, Gabrielle, we are enjoying this so much. You know, we're going to have to come back and talk about these other books as well. So I hope you
Works for
will.
me. That works for me.
I love it. Gabrielle, when you think about this series as a whole, the Hostel Falls series, and you did share with us that actually book three came first, or what have you. But overall, what came first for you in this series? Was it the characters or was it these amazing plots?
So, I had a dream actually. I
Oh,
woke up in the middle of the night and I grabbed my phone because I just had to write down this snippet where Natalie and Kyle are in a fake relationship and they get to the lake house for actually Caitlin and Cody's wedding, and
okay.
there's only one bed. And they're in a fake
Oh,
relationship and they don't want to share a bedroom, but it's the only bedroom left. And
okay.
that was the dream that I woke up from. And so it was kind of all of the above. Like the plot for Natalie and Kyle's book just kind of popped out of nowhere along with Natalie and Kyle. And then as I got to know Natalie and Kyle, I got to know the rest of the Palmers really well because,
Yeah.
Natalie is Caitlin's best friend and Kyle's the brother. Like they all kind of fell into place. So it all kind of happened all at the same time. There wasn't a really like progression.
I love that. I love that. Now, speaking of these particular characters, and guys, I'm telling you, you're gonna fall in love with the characters. You're gonna fall in love with the family, all of that good stuff, as well. And they are so relatable, as well. And that's one of the things that actually kind of draws you in to this amazing story, as well. Now, when you think about all these characters, of course, in Falling for Her Client and some of the other books, as well for this one, for Caitlin and Cody's story, which character in Falling for Her Client was the most interesting or fun for you to write? And then which character in this book at moments gave you pause where you kind of had to sit with that character and kind of think about what it is that you want to convey to the readers or what have you? So kind of a two-part question.
Yeah. So actually, I think for both of those, it's Justin. So he's the cousin who sets
Yes,
them up, and Justin has an interesting backstory with the whole
yes.
family. And so it trying to figure out his motivation and why he did the things he did and
Yes.
how their relationship went moving forward um was he's a fun character. Like he's just so over the top and totally wacky, but I had to like really dig into his motivation and why he did what he did. And you'll see more of that in book 3 and book now 4, his book, um,
Okay.
which I am super excited to write. I have all of these bits swirling around in my head and I haven't had
Yeah,
time to put it
yeah,
all down yet,
because
but
Gabrielle, you was throwing us like little hints and stuff for Justin. So of course, like in the back of your mind, like you're like, okay, like what's
mhm,
happened? Like all I'm gonna say is like with his girlfriend, what have you. But then there were some other things I was like, with Justin. So I'm super excited about that as well. Guys, if you are just joining us, oh my goodness, we are hanging out with Gabrielle Landi, guys. She took the time to hang out with us to talk the Hostel Falls series. This is the second book in the series, Falling for Her Client. The first book is Falling for the Harris. If you want to go back and read that one, I promise you they're quick reads or what have you. And book 3, she shared with us, is actually coming out in the fall of the year. So you'll be all caught up. Of course, you guys know how we do it here. If you have a question for Gabrielle, be sure to put it in the comment section. We'll be sure to include you. And Gabrielle has a little snippet that she's going to share with us on today as well. And Gabrielle, I'll let you set it up to let us know what you're about to read, and you can start when you're ready.
Yeah, so this is the first time Caitlin sees Cody again after their super awkward first date. She goes to photograph
Yes.
the wedding, and surprise, it's his sister. And he's a groomsman. So
Yep.
she's going to be photographing him all day. So she says, "He winked at me, the guy who'd spent most of our fundraiser date talking about the weather. Why was this guy so completely different at times? Maybe the awkwardness at the picnic had been a fluke. Or maybe he hadn't actually been winking and it was just something in his eye. Whatever the case was, I couldn't get distracted by him. I had a job to do." As we walked back into the church for the reception, I found myself walking next to Cody, his long legs slowing to keep time with me. "Hey, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry if I was weird during the fundraiser," he said. "I'm not good at talking to strangers." I looked up at him and smiled. "It's okay. It wasn't that bad." It was, but he was apologizing, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. I, uh, he looked uncomfortable. "Yeah." Was he tongue tied again already? "I'm not that scary, am I?" I teased. If there was one thing that photography had taught me, it was how to put uncomfortable people at ease. Nobody was comfortable in front of a camera without help. "No," he said, "I'm just that awkward."
Guys, oh my goodness, she just gave you a little sneak peek of Falling for Her Client. Let's tell you, there are a whole bunch of weddings going on that's like super fun. There is a whole bunch of her and Cody like meeting each other, for several times or what have you. Again, there are moments where you laugh. There's moments where there's like an understanding. There's moments where they kind of pull at your heartstrings. Oh my goodness. And look, we have to talk a little bit about Cody's mom and his sister. Can you tell us a little bit about his mom? I mean, I love both moms. I love the Palmer mom as well, but Cody's mom was just, oh my goodness.
Cody's mom is awesome.
Yes,
She can't cook to save her life.
right.
And so they
But
eat
she'll
out
do
almost
takeout.
they eat out almost all of the time, and Caitlin teases Cody about how he can't cook either.
Yes.
Um which is fun for me because my husband's a chef, and so
Oh,
I can't tease my husband about that. Um, but his mom was just super fun because she's just this super loving, like always wants to be there for him, even if she doesn't always know how. And it I don't know. She was fun. And his sister, I've actually been writing his sister's story and how she fell in love with Thomas. And that has been super fun to even get to know Lisa even more. Um,
yes.
because you see her a little bit, but she mostly just teases Justin when she's there.
Mhm.
And so um, yeah, I don't know. It's been fun getting to know her and a little more about why she's just so happy-go-lucky all the time and just has fun teasing Justin and Cody.
I love that. I love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're having amazing times. As y'all can see, I am loving the Hostel Falls series, and I know your guys are going to love it too as well. But of course, Gabrielle, we have to play a round of this or that, my friend. But I promise you, there is no right or wrong answer because it is all things according to you. Are you ready, my friend?
Sure.
All right, let's get this started. First up, phone call or text message?
Oh, text.
Okay.
I have kids, so like phone calls are really hard. Also, my house does this weird thing where it drops phone calls. I think it's because we
Oh,
have a metal roof.
okay.
Like, I'll be in my kitchen and my phone will be like, "Nope, you can't talk anymore." So, I'm a text message person.
I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going on a trip. Are we taking a road trip or airplane ride?
Do I have my kids with me?
Okay.
I I like airplanes. I like getting there quickly.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Audio book or ebook?
Ebook for sure.
Okay.
I have a hard time. I'm not a very auditory learner. I have a hard
Okay.
time like focusing because my brain just I end up thinking of story ideas instead. So I
Okay.
have to read.
Okay. Look, let's talk tropes a little bit. Secret baby or sibling's best friend?
Siblings best friend, hands down. I mean, you've read my books. Like siblings best friend all the way.
Okay. Look, friends to lovers or enemies to lovers?
Oh, friends. Friends
Okay.
all the way.
I love it. Glass half full or glass half empty, Gabrielle?
I try really hard to be glass half full. Really
Okay.
hard.
Okay.
Sometimes it ends up being a little empty, but I try really hard to stay glass half full.
Okay. I love it. And Gabrielle, this one is definitely for the cafe. Okay. Are you team tea or are you team coffee?
For the most part, tea. I
Okay.
do enjoy coffee, but I drink more tea.
I love it. I love it. Guys, if you are just joining us, we're hanging out with Gabrielle Landi on today, guys. Her latest release in the Hostel Falls series of Falling for Her Client. We will be sharing with you in just a little bit of how you can get your hands on a copy of it. And of course, there is a lovely giveaway on this evening. Gabrielle, can you share with us what the giveaway is going to be this today? Mm.
Yeah, I would love to give someone a digital copy of Client so they can read it themselves.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And Gabrielle, how are we going to do it, my friend? Is I'm going to go up and down the comment section, and you are going to tell me when to stop, and that person will receive an ebook copy of A Falling for Her Clients. All
All
righty.
right.
I am ready when you are. Mhm.
All right. Go.
Okay.
And stop.
Let's see. Caitlin Warrer, which her name is Caitlin. Caitlin, you are the winner of an ebook copy of Falling for Her Client. So if you will send me your email information, we will get this information to Gabrielle and she will get that out to you on today as well. So, Gabrielle, and I know you shared a little bit with us earlier, but when you think about romance, because you did share with us that you wrote in another genre before, but when you started writing romance, would you say that romance found you or you found the genre of romance? What would you say to that?
Romance found me. I have been, even when I wrote young adult fantasy, it was basically romance disguised as young adult fantasy. I've been a romance person my whole life. I like the princess stories. I'm a total sucker. Gail Carson Levine and Ella Enchanted like hooked me when I was like 8 years old. And I have been a romance person through and through since. Like Hallmark movies and rom coms. I'm a total sucker for a totally happily ever after.
I love it. I love it. And Gabrielle, can you share with us just overall? I know you are loving the Hostel Falls series. You know, spilled a little bit of tea about what's coming next in the Hostel Falls series. But if we could just narrow it down to Cody and Caitlin falling for her client, what did Gabrielle enjoy about their story?
I loved the way that Caitlin wasn't sure about anything, and Cody just patiently waited for Caitlin to realize that he was the right one for her. And that's
Yes.
probably because my husband kind of did the same thing for me.
Mhm.
So I think a large part of Caitlin and Cody was inspired by that. Um, but I think that's my favorite part is just how Cody just waited and showed her that he wasn't gonna hurt her like other people have.
And I'll say this, I won't give any spoilers, but let me just say, Gabrielle, their dates were like super cuteness. Oh my goodness, they were like the best. Well, some of the ones was the best, like date not dates. And guys, you got to read the book to understand why it was a date not date. Oh my goodness, I love those. And then the fact that she was a photographer. I mean, you nailed that. I love that. And some of the scenes with him and her, with her in her element, or what have you, guys. This is a swoon worthy. Let me just say that there are swooning moments. There are oh my, I mean, I could just talk about this book just forever. Okay, it's one of those books. It's like one of those books. Of course, you know that it's going to be a happy ever after. So you're excited about that as well. But again, from the beginning to the end, I was just so hooked. From the meet cute to the very end. You know, there's more to come in this series as well. I was super duper excited. So I know you guys are going to be super duper excited as well. So Gabrielle, I know that they are on the edge of their seats by this snippet that you read, and then me sharing a little bit about what I enjoyed about it, what you enjoyed about this story. Can you share with them how can they get their hands on Falling for Her Client, and how can they get their hands on the other books in this series as well?
Yeah, so right now, Client and Harris, the first two books in the series, are in Kindle Unlimited and in print on Amazon. Um, and then there's a prequel novella with the Palmer parents and how they fell for each other. That is not in Kindle Unlimited, but you can get it on my website. Just put in your email and it'll get sent to you. And it is on Amazon, I think, for 99 cents. So they are all on Amazon, both in paperback and ebook and in Kindle Unlimited.
I love that. I love that. Guys, let me just tell you, if you have a subscription to Kindle Unlimited, go books to that. And even if not, go and buy the print copy as well of these amazing stories. I promise you, you will fall in love with these characters. It's definitely a quick, fun read as well for that. And of course, Gabrielle, you definitely got to share with the people, how can they stay connected with you?
Yeah, I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I think that's it. As Landi Writes at Landi Writes. And she just posted my website there. So there are links to that there. And you can also sign up for my newsletter. I try to send it out twice a month. Life happened in April, but I'm getting back on that twice a month schedule. Um, and that's again at my website, GabrielleLandi.com.
I love that. I love that. Guys, that's our show on today. It was so fun hanging out with Gabrielle Landi on today, guys, and hearing about the Hostel Falls series, talking about falling for her client, Cody, and Caitlin's story as well. But Gabrielle, I want to allow you to have the last words of what you want to say to the people this evening.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope that if you read the books, you love them as much as Angela and I do.
I love that. I love that. Guys, you know what to do. Of course, tell a friend to tell a friend as well. Thank you, Veronica. She said, great interview. Have a wonderful night, ladies. Be safe and enjoy our weekend as well. But guys, of course, you know what to do. Definitely follow Gabrielle Landi. Find out about this amazing Hostel Falls series as well. Follow her on social media. Definitely, if you get a copy of the book, of course, take a picture, tag her as well. I know she will be so appreciative. And once you finish reading it, be sure to leave a review. I know that Gabrielle will be appreciative of that as well. And of course, if you are watching us on YouTube, thank you. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Angela Anderson YouTube. Feel free to subscribe and follow me over there. You can also follow me here on Facebook at Angela Anderson Presents. And for those who sent stars on this evening, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm always appreciative of when you guys send stars. If you would would like to send stars, of course, look down in the comment section on Facebook. There is a shooting star. Send as many stars as you like. Again, I'm so appreciative of that. Of course, make sure you're following Gabrielle Landi. Make sure you read Falling for Her Client. Of course, if you want to read them in order, Falling for the Harris is the first book in this series. But if you read the second book, I promise you won't be lost. Gabrielle writes it in a way that she'll catch you up. Okay. I love that. I love that. And as
That's
we
the goal.
always say here, yes, I love that. As we always say here at the cafe, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.